Good morning, everybody. Taylor McMullen here with the McMullen Homes Real Estate Team, bringing you a monthly news and stats report of Victoria, British Columbia. So this would be episode 0. So I'm looking to do this, probably looking to do it bi-monthly. We'll probably get into doing it weekly at some point, but for now, expect to see this once every 2 weeks. So what I'm going to do today is just go over some monthly statistics and some general real estate news to help bring you guys up to speed with what's going on in our current market. So let's have a look here. I'm just going to open up the presentation. Let me just move this here. Where's a good place? Here, I'll put you up here. Okay, so let's go through this. So the June stats, 2017 versus 2018, as you can see, quite a significant reduction percentage-wise when compared to 2017. So 29% fewer property sales when compared to June of last year, 25% fewer condo sales, 35% fewer house sales. So this typically brings about some interesting scenarios, but you are definitely heading into a marketplace where we're not going to be seeing as much competition. Buyers will have a lot more inventory to choose from, which is sort of the benefit, I guess. We are losing a lot of buying power as a result of several factors. We've got the new speculation tax, the foreign buyers tax, as well as interest rate changes. So pressure on qualification around qualifying for loans and an increase in interest rates. So a couple of things are suppressing the market, but that's reducing the buying power. However, that's allowing for inventory to stack. So people that are buying are definitely having a lot more inventory to choose from. So that's a benefit to this type of marketplace. But yes, it's quite a significant drop percentage-wise in sales, and I expect to see that continue throughout the rest of the year, as it's already been doing that since January. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So yeah, so interest rates are actually expected to reach around 5 or 6% by the fourth quarter of 2019. I've included in the comments below some resources for you guys to review if you're interested in having a look at some of the news articles and information regarding this. I'll also post a current interest rate sheet that'll go over what the current interest rates are at the moment. We just had another rate hike here. So a suggestion would be go get yourself locked in if you're thinking about buying in the next few months here. I would suggest going and visiting a mortgage broker or a bank and getting yourself locked in to the current interest rates before we see any more changes. That way you'll be able to take advantage of the current ones before they change anymore. So yeah, and then of course strict mortgage qualification is making it challenging. Within my own personal business, I've had 3 or 4 buyers priced out of our marketplace just because they've made it a lot more challenging to qualify for a mortgage. So in addition to the rates going up, they've also implemented a stress test, which I will include a resource in the description below, again, that will kind of go over the stress test and how it may affect you. So the whole point of them doing this was to keep the consumers from over leveraging the amount of debt, which is the amount of debt used to finance an asset. They don't want people going to their absolute maximum when it comes to buying a home. They want people to purchase a little bit less than what they could potentially qualify for. So I get what they're trying to do there, and it's pretty typical that this happens when we get to this point of the cycle. So as far as taxes go, this is definitely something that has been talked about and discussed, especially over the last 2 years. Originally, it was only affecting the mainland, the foreign tax, 15% affecting only Metro Vancouver. So now there's 20%, and it's affecting most of BC. So that's really, taken a lot of foreign investors and they're hanging out on the sidelines now, waiting to see what happens. But that's sort of discouraged a lot of foreign investments. So that's significantly dampened the market, and we can certainly tell that here. I mean, in Victoria, we weren't having as much foreign action as, say, Vancouver, but just my opinion, when that 15% tax was implemented over on the mainland, I did notice a lot more foreigners coming over to Victoria. So I think we are now on the map. So in the event that this tax is lifted at some point, I do feel that there could be more foreign investors coming over to the island at that time. I mean, we're already seeing it in Victoria. I noticed some coming over here during that period, and over in Nanaimo as well in other parts of the island. So NDP is planning to use those revenues to fund affordable housing projects over the next decade. So that's what they intend to do with the foreign tax. In addition to the foreign tax, we've got ourselves a new speculation tax. Now, this one's got a number of variables to consider, so rather than me trying to go into detail, I will, again, include a resource in the description below that you guys can have a look at, as well as I'll display a infographic here that you guys can have a quick look at. But yeah, speculation tax, again, was just aimed at individuals that were purchasing property and leaving them vacant. And what they want to do is get rid of that, have people, there's certain exemptions, but what they want is people to own and live within the home or have long-term rentals in place. And those seem to be the largest exemptions, but there are more exemptions. And so it would be best that you have a look at the paper that I'm going to link in the description below, and that'll give you more detailed information. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll get around to answering those as soon as possible, as well as any other questions you may have around foreign tax or interest rates or the statistics for this market, as well as opinions and whatnot. Okay, there you go. There's the infographic. Again, I'll put that in the description below. But here you can have a look at it, and this will sort of guide you through the process to determine if you are eligible for it or are you not. So definitely have a look at that. But yeah, I found this one to be the most complex, had the most variables out of all the new changes. So I'm not going to even try to interpret it for everyone's situation. But again, if you leave me a question in the comments below or direct personal message me, I'll help you work out your situation there. We can try and get some answers for your questions. So you may be asking, is it a good time to buy or sell? So if you're buying real estate, as I mentioned earlier, yes, you've got a larger amount of inventory that is expected to come onto the market. We're already seeing it now, a larger influx of inventory. This means less multiple offer situations. Doesn't mean they're not going to happen. We're still in early days of this marketplace, so we are definitely seeing lots of multiple offers still happening on the right type of property. But overall, days on market has increased and inventory has increased. And of course, the statistics showed that at this time compared to last year, we're down about 30% overall sales-wise. So yes, it's a good time to buy if you're able to. Lots to choose from, and it's expected to continue to do that for the foreseeable future. And yes, this gives buyers the opportunity to negotiate now. No more, if you can avoid those multiple offers, best to do so, there will be lots to choose from. So some suggestions I would offer if you are a buyer looking to get into this market is, ask yourself before making an offer, is it worth competing for? Because there will be more inventory available as this market continues to change. And one of the cons that we're going to encounter for buyers here is around mortgage qualification. As I said, I've had within my own personal business buyers backing out of the purchasing process because they've had to requalify and just aren't able to get what they want to support their lifestyle. So potentially will come back at some point, but for now, it's just going to have to, people are just going to have to wait out the storm and see what happens here amongst all these changes. So is it a good time to sell? Yes and no. Yes, in that you'll be able to take advantage of the equity gain that you made from our crazy run up here. We did go up quite a large percentage in the last 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I think if if you're able to sell and you're in a good area, and yeah, you're aggressive with your pricing, that'll be most important. Aggressive with your pricing, as well as having a strong marketing plan to help you set yourself out, because now it's you guys that'll be competing to sell. You won't have as much power in this marketplace. We're heading into what's called a buyer's market. The easiest way to differentiate the two is a seller's market. Sellers have advantage. Buyer's market. Buyers have the advantage. So we are coming out of a seller's market and approaching a more balanced market in favor of the buyers at this time. So definitely want to consider, if you're going to consider selling, to try and take advantage of the large equity gain that you guys got. Yeah, as I said, have a strong marketing plan in place, and consider your price. Make sure you're aggressive with pricing and realistic. So it's good to get advice from a couple of agents, and potentially a third-party appraisal to confirm value of your home. And if it's worth it, then yeah, absolutely execute while you can. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to discuss today. I'm going to keep it short for the monthly reports, but I'm planning on doing these segments, as I said, bi-monthly. So we'll look into potentially doing weekly episodes. But if you guys have any suggestions for future content, please leave them in the comments below. We would certainly love to assist you with answering any questions that you may have. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next episode, not next week, but the following week, where I'll go over studio suites, and I'm going to talk about studio suites in Saanich. Particularly right now, we're going through the process of getting those legalized, and that may have a significant impact on housing, especially in this area. Victoria is already allowing it. I know Oak Bay is in discussion regarding their suites, but I'm going to focus primarily on Saanich next week, or not next week, but the following week after. And yeah, we'll go into detail there. As I said, we've got everything I just discussed here in this short video. We will put it in the description below. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or if you have suggestions for future content, please leave it in the comments below. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much.